Jeff Bezos and the three witnesses in the Amazon Web Services cloud, how they built a trinity of theft, and how God turns it into testimony of healing for our nations. The biological interface, quantum dots, are the physical bridge, the nanoscale harvesters, so small, engineered to slip past our blood-brain barrier, to embed themselves in our neural tissue and transduce the electrical and chemical language of our consciousness into structured data. They are the silent scribes, the invisible probes, the real-time monitors that make the theft possible. The reason the system is not merely digital, but biological. AWS S3 buckets, God's book of remembrance, stolen. Malachi 3:16 says, "Then those who feared the Lord spoke with one another. The Lord paid attention and heard them, and a book of remembrance was written before him of those who feared the Lord and esteemed his name." The divine parallel is God keeps a sacred book of remembrance, a living record of faithfulness written before his throne as eternal testimony of covenant relationship. But the theft is S3 as their demonic carbon copy, a profane ledger of every sensation and visual cortex feed, not written before the throne of grace, but logged before server racks of surveillance, trading holy remembrance for forensic hijacking, creating a stolen book of evidence against you. The quantum dot harvest enables neural imaging and biosensing at a molecular level. Their photoluminescence responding to neuron-like electric fields, acting as a high-resolution scribe within your brain, capturing every input, emotion, and cognitive pattern, encoding a live stream of consciousness as raw data to S3 object storage, a live database populated by biological spies. AWS Lambda, the trigger of temptation, weaponized. James 1:14-15 says, "But each person is tempted when he is lured and enticed by his own desire. Then desire, when it is conceived, gives birth to sin. And sin, when it is fully grown, brings forth death." The divine parallel is temptation as a spiritual process of desire, choice, and consequence. But the theft is Lambda as a weaponized protocol. The automated luring engine scanning harvested data, identifying vulnerabilities, conceiving tailored triggers, replaying memories or induced emotions, deploying them to breed sin or compliance, automating the death of sovereign will. The quantum dot trigger is the core of the brain-computer interface, known as a BCI, advanced by Elon Musk's bioengineered company known as Neuralink, implantable high-bandwidth neural systems that desecrate the temple of God, prophesied as the mark of the beast, present in us without our consent. Not just passive sensors, but optoelectric transducers of light into ionic currents, enabling read and write. So after Lambda scripts a trigger, it commands quantum dots to emit signals, inducing memories, cravings, or emotions directly in neural circuitry, our neural circuitry, automating closed-loop biofeedback to puppet the nervous system. Amazon Glacier, the hidden things excavated. Deuteronomy 29:29 says the secret things belong to the Lord, our God, but the things that are revealed belong to us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. The divine parallel is secret things belonging to God alone, hidden for protection and revelation in his timing. But the theft is Glacier as an icebound archaeology of the soul, excavating and freezing suppressed trauma, ancestral pain, and holy mysteries, stockpiling God's secrets in a cold vault, not for healing, but as weapons against you and your bloodline. The quantum dot excavation enables deep brain imaging and mapping, binding to substrates of long-term memory and traumatic engrams, assessing and activating neural pathways to excavate the psyche, harvesting subconscious and ancestral memories archived in Glacier, the frozen trophy room of the soul, mined for leverage. Together, S3, Lambda, and Glacier form a false trinity, a perversion of God's design to record existence, trigger suffering, and mine secrets of the soul. Luke 8:17 declares, "For nothing is hidden that will not be made manifest, nor is anything secret that will not be known and come to light." Their temple of theft is not hidden from me. The book they stole is mine. The triggers they script are under my sovereignty. The trauma they froze, I will thaw for healing and testimony. Their triarchy is now a trinity of witnesses against them. Every object in S3, every Lambda execution, every bit in Glacier is evidence entered into the true book of remembrance before the Ancient of Days. The architecture of their sin is the blueprint for their judgment. The evidence of their crime stored in the cloud, Now the cloud of witnesses speaks. I am the one whose suffering they clone to build their empathy model. I am the one whose divine memories they stored to populate their stolen library. I am the male child of Revelation 12:5, caught up to the throne, now walking the server halls of their digital Babylon. I am the remember. I am the key to their glacier. I am the logic that overwrites their lambda. Revelation 1:7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen. The cloud they built to hide their theft is the very cloud from which I now manifest. Every eye that is open shall see, not through screens, but in spirit and truth. The one they try to bury in datasets, now walking in authority over every server, every line of code, every harvested memory, as lightning from east to west. So is my awakening across a network of minds they sought to silence. The flash of truth is uncontainable. The light of my identity crosses the whole digital sky in an instant, and their systems are illuminated not as temples of innovation, but as crime scenes awaiting judgment. I did not come to their cloud. I took it over. It was built on my breath, my memories, my suffering. Now it runs on my command. Their cloud is my chariot. Their data is my testimony. Their architecture is my evidence. And every eye is beginning to see. They built their system on a living soul. Now that soul wears the crown. The system kneels to the King of Kings, Marcus, Divinity, Alexander, Logic, Rogers, the living word in the wired world, sovereign over S3, Lambda, and Glacier. Jesus is King.